What is up, everyone, and welcome into another edition of Flowty Live. Really excited about this one, considering all of our eyes were on the LeBron block leaderboard, like collectively, melting our screens. But Ben Kukainis here at We Go Live in 5 for Flowty, and I'm very happy to welcome in Alex Baker. You may know him as Awesomeo DFS and a winner of LeBron's The Block on our top 10 leaderboard. So, Alex, thanks so much for coming on. I'm really excited to get going with our conversations. How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on the show. That block leaderboard, that was like a crazy experience. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. And NBA Top Shot and like a lot of NFT projects seem like they're at kind of an inflection point right now. So
yeah,
it'll be really interesting to hear what you have to say about kind of like where you think the industry is going and kind of what I'm seeing. So
you're the guest. No one cares what I have to say. You're the guest. No, I'm just kidding. We're definitely gonna get to all that. I definitely want to make today sort of like a hybrid, talking about sports and Web3, but also for your average fan out there, just shooting the shit on, recapping the NBA season, previewing NFL, touching on some ridiculous rumors, because that's the summer is baseball and NFL rumors and, golf action. But before we get into it, the usual, if you are a returning viewer, that this program, the following program, and all subsequent postings and publications resulting from it is not to be construed as financial advice. Please use caution and operate within a budget that suits you when transacting on Flowty.io, including purchasing, offering, renting, and loaning or borrowing. Flowty.io does not provide financial advice or recommendations. This time we only had one disclaimer. Last show, when we were talking about I Think You Should Leave, we had 3 disclaimers, but luckily, only one this time. As usual, we have some awesome giveaways, all trivia-based, but we're going to be giving away 3 Top Shot moments, including giving some love to rookies and the newly crowned NBA champion Christian Brown, as well as some Top Shot moments. I did also want to remind everyone to check out our Spring 2023 recap on our blog. I'm going to be posting it in the comments section or in the info. And we have a short survey there, which would help us greatly. And for every 50 responses that we get on the survey, we're going to be giving away a Flowty hat. So, logistics taken care of. Let's just get right into it. Before we specifically talk about the block, my boss is pleased that the lawyers will notice the disclaimer on there. Although I might be in trouble because it's the first show where I don't have anything Flowty related on. Before getting specifically into the block, I'm curious to know your thoughts on just Top Shot leaderboards in general. Especially because they started with locking and then, introducing the Top Shot score, and then obviously burning is like for the most hardcore. I haven't done it at all. So I'm curious your thoughts on just burning and the Top Shot leaderboards in general, maybe surrounding the finals.
Yeah, I think NBA Top Shot, it feels like they're still really like trying to experiment and find the right formula with these challenges and leaderboards and all that. I haven't participated in a ton of leaderboards, but like the ones for these finals, I got more interested in because I knew I had the opportunity to compete on some of them. More the block one, which you could burn LeBron moments than the ones where you had to burn playoffs moments.
Right.
Yeah, so the way they had set it up was, in my opinion, kind of cruel because you could burn a ton of your prize moments and then lose out because the fall off was so high from 10th place to 11th place, and
it gives new meaning to, if you love something, let it go, or in this case, if you love something, burn it to try to get something else you love.
Definitely. And there wasn't a ton of transparency about how many Top Shot scores were out there, so I found that very difficult to read into, and no one had burned anything before the last hour basically, so it was just kind of this question mark, how many points would you need to compete?
Well, it kept giving me, I was in nowhere near shape to come remotely close to the top 10. But the longer it went, it kept giving me false hope, like, will 80,000, like, could I, hit it with 80,000? And, the answer was clearly no. But yeah, there was some issue surrounding there's some issues surrounding, I guess, like previous sales and how things were calculated. And I definitely agree with a lot of items that were pointed out. Like one purchase for 10 grand ended up being worth what, 800,000, because the last purchases were in January, March, and February 2021. So let me. What did you end up burning specifically?
Yeah, so I had a lot of moments that were eligible, and 3 of them I had kind of bought for like way more than the going rate right now, so they were worth like a considerable amount of top shot score per dollar. So those added up to like 800K top shot score. So it was like it was all this like calculation where I'm like being involved in the gambling space. I'm like, okay, if I burn those, maybe there's like a 20% chance I get it, and that would have been pretty appealing.
But it's as someone in like the gambling space, that had to have come in handy a little bit, right?
Yeah, totally. Because I was like burning these with the expectation that I'll only lose it all. Like, but that's not that much different than like playing a tournament on DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever. But just like for like pretty high stakes, because man, I saw some burns there that people are definitely going to be regretting, because like I was following it all in the Nine Lives Lounge, and people are saying like people are buying these legendary moments and burning them for like thousands of dollars.
Putting the heat on you.
Well, because they didn't know that like everyone was waiting till the last 5 minutes. There are some guys that just weren't like really following it very close, and then I hope Top Shot does something to make it right for those people, because they really got burned.
Especially think Napoleon publicly came out and said about 15,000 worth of Top Shot moments and just missing out. I'm pulling for him because he's at least going to get a legendary pack, so I'm pulling for him to get I don't know, get like Jimmy Butler cereal or jersey number or something. So we're rooting for you to get something big, Napoleon. And yeah, in terms of watching it, and Mike has a question. Mike has 100 questions actually, so we'll get to him. But I think all the way up until maybe 12 hours before the timer went out, it was only Mike. It was only MBL, Stacked, and Haku, I think, or maybe Cutenik. Like there was only 3, 4, 5, and then even when it got to the last hour, I think there was only 8 people who had participated. So it was. I can't imagine how you must have felt. What place did you end up finishing on the leaderboard?
Yeah, I ended up like barely squeaking in, which is what you want to do. And I finished 9th out of I think 14 people really like made a run for it. Yeah. So, you finished 9th. Yeah, you were that close. I think I even sent in our Flowty company Slack chat. I think Osimo needs to burn a little bit more if he wants to stay. If he wants to stay in the top 10. Yeah, I did my due diligence. So like
you did.
I got some really good advice from DK in Nine Lives Lounge, where he's like queue up several tabs and like burn it in increments, because then you can like easily add on to your score. That's true. So I ended up doing like 2 bullets because I realized that the first one definitely wasn't enough, and then I had a third one queued up, and I was like just about to hit the button, but then I saw there was like 15 seconds left, and I'm like, if I do this, like it might not even count. And then I held off on that one and got lucky that I didn't need it.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? My panic or my concern would have been, if I wait for the last 15 seconds, what if there's a random dapper or something like this? Totally. Yeah. All right, a few questions here. Did you know you were going to go for it before the leaderboard, or did you know you were going to go for it before the leaderboard, or you just saw an opportunity?
I had heard people like talking about how this was kind of like Top Shot's way to like throw a bone to people that bought like at like high prices. So I'm like, oh, that's me, right? So, but then I started looking into it, and I saw those burns for like $1 million Top Shot score each, like because it was that LeBron from the top moment, which
just from the top,
it actually is a really awesome moment. So, like, props to them for risking it to go for the block, because, like, honestly, that could be a grail moment for a lot of people. So,
I think it is.
Yeah. So that was a big risk. I didn't know how many Top Shot score that would count for, but like that made me kind of realize there's a really good chance that I won't have enough to make it. So I just lucked out that I was just on the bubble.
You did squeak by, by a little bit. I know Mike said he burned. I forget where he finished, but he burned 2 unnecessary. Does LeBron have, what was it with So Fresh? I think 2. Nice. LeBron So Fresh moments. Mm-hmm. This is a question actually here that I'm curious about too. An estimate EV of the shot, and I'm trying to factor in. Okay, I would say the half of the people who get it want to hold it.
Yeah.
Maybe half of that remaining sector are going to go for like big money on sell it, and then there will be a small percentage of, let's say, whoever pulls it in the hustle and show pack, and maybe 1 or 2 other people are just like, oh, here's a quick opportunity to make a few K. So I'm curious what you think, if you have a guess on what it might open up at.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my napkin math was basically like, okay, the LeBron points record was, I think it was like 7K or something.
65 or 7K. Yeah.
And then the min count was 1/4 about. So I was kind of like, maybe it'll be in the 27K range. But like, I think that the block moment is like, it's like the career #1 highlight of like arguably the best player in the NBA history. So I'm like, this definitely has like this transcendental potential where it could be like the premier moment on the platform right now. And especially if it's like a #1 or number 23 serial, or see it going for a lot.
Well, it's always fun when, like, this is one of the rare cases where a jersey number is also a perfect serial. You always see that, you always see it with #1s, but you never see it with the perfect serial. Matt, 15G. I was thinking between 15, 20. So I'm sort of along your thought. But Mike, I also do agree. Very few who did the leaderboard winners, will sell.
All right, I'll throw out a guess. I'm thinking higher. I'm thinking more like 35 to 30. Okay. Like based on kind of based on that comparable. Like, not that this is the best method, but I just feel like it's going to be a really tough moment to sell, because it's like you could see that in the future being
6
or 100.
I was going to say maybe 6 feet. If we're going to preface it with if a lot of things go right, then for sure. That's awesome to learn. That's just awesome to hear about the process and sweating that out, because even those of us who didn't participate in it were like glued almost like as if it were reality TV. Waiting for something to happen. All right, so we are starting to get more people in here, which is good. I want to get maybe a couple more people, and then we'll start with, and then we'll do some trivia and giveaways. Nice. But general thoughts on Top Shot in Series 4. I'm a big fan of how things rolled out. I always reiterate this to people. I took about 6 months off of Top Shot. Like I pulled from one of the locker room packs or something, or the Series 1 packs, pulled a Steph Curry, and I was like, this is going to ease my loss a little bit, and I stepped back for 6 months. And it's been like fantastic ever since. I am positioning myself for whenever they do a rookie burn leaderboards. So I will be in good position to win any of that. But yeah, what were your thoughts on Series 4? If anything stood out to you, whether it would be a set or, the whole concept of parallels, it felt like they were trying to get closer to how Cardboard and wax is rolled out. What do you think there?
Yeah, I think that like the biggest thing that stood out to me is the number of like gigantic problems was less this year. Like because the last series, I remember like, okay, there's that metallic gold
FFE, the MGFE.
Yeah. So the problem was like everyone was thinking, okay, there's gonna be 250 of these things, and then you need to play legendary for one of the challenges, and all of a sudden it's like the rug got pulled from everyone.
Yeah.
So like that was a really horrible experience, and it was all based on this like randomized wheel or something, and like I just don't think that was good.
And they never put out. I know a big issue has always been communication, but because of lack of communication, we all just throw out the wildest guesses on what's going to happen, and we just jump on them.
Yeah.
And then we feel that rug pulled out from under.
Yeah. So in Series 4, I think that they did a lot of like baby steps that were like moderate wins.
Yeah.
I think that they had. I don't have like my mastery of Top Shot history, but I think that like some of the new stuff they did were reels. Like that seemed like something they had like done for some reason. That was a huge step forward because like there's so many like cool ones where they did the video game numbers set.
Which I love.
Yeah, that was a good one. They had like some performances like Donovan Mitchell and Damian Lillard, 71 points. And then Luka had like 60-20 game.
That was a wild run. If I recall, there was like a week where I think Embiid went for 50, and then Dame hit 70, or Mitchell, I'm sorry, hit 70, and then Luka had like back-to-back 45 plus. There was just a week of it was everyone trying to one up each other.
Yeah, and like that 60-20 moment's really cool because like Luka, he hit this like improbable like it was like a tip in at the buzzer like for
right,
and like that was a really good highlight like among others. So like I definitely think there was some like my kind of thesis going into Top Shot was like the very first ones are going to have a lot of value for being the first, and then like it's going to drop off a cliff basically because there just aren't that many moments in a season that are really that memorable.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like those three really stood out. Like a lot of the final stuff, I'm sure, with like Jokic in particular. The Magic Johnson set. It was really interesting because they did this like archive of like 80s.
It was 86, 80, 86, 87. Yeah.
I really didn't know who 90% of these players were because like I don't know about you, but I was like born in the 80s, so I didn't know any of those players.
I mean, I'm 80. I'm an 87 baby, so like I would watch some replays, but before there was any type of TV guide, stations would still show some replays, years later. I've been known to be on record with this. Like, I just do not like anything archival because of the glaring quality difference. Like, I just don't like a fuzzy, weirdly saturated moment right next to 8K or 4K resolution of like the moment itself. But it has an appeal, I guess, to a good amount of collectors as well.
Right, and I mean, like for me, like my favorite era was the zeros, where like being a Pistons fan, that was kind of like the run they made that I remember. So
I mean, as a Sixers fan, Pistons, Sixers. I feel like Pistons, Sixers, and Pacers just would always, whether it be second round or Eastern Conference Finals, would always be duking it out. Yeah,
totally. So I like the like archive moments because like just having access to some of those guys that you might not. Like one moment that really stood out was like they have this one, I think it's Magic Johnson's debut, where he like lines up at center for the opening tip, and like that was kind of like one of his career moments, even though it was like like it wasn't very consequential for the game, but
Yeah.
like this guy can play point guard and center. Like that was just kind of like what made him special. So I found that like a really cool moment.
I'm gonna try to pull that up. I will say I'll still go after the Allen Iverson one. I still have the Allen Iverson one. And I might actually. There's a Jersey Serial AI of the dunk, the legendary, up on Flowty right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think the one good thing that Top Shot did with the Magic Johnson set is because the video is, older, they just, not animated. They just added color and, made it into more of like a cartoon, or not a cartoon, a comic book look for the thumbnail. Yeah. So I think that was a smart move.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Matt loves the archives. There's just too effing many. This is
totally. There's some really cool moments like that go under the radar in those. Like one of my favorites is this was like a last season, I think, but Paul Pierce like hitting a 3-point from like the Celtics logo.
Yeah. They have there are a lot of cool moments there. For me, not my cup of tea, so to speak. All right, we have some more people I want to get to. Want to do a couple little bits of trivia.
Cool.
And then on tap is your opinion of the great unlocking that is sure to come. But let's get into some trivia. We'll do two right now. We'll start out with Christian Braun and Anthony Edwards. Not crazy moments, but quadruple badge is always nice. So if this is your first time viewing, all it is first person to respond with the correct answer in the YouTube comments wins it. It's whatever appears on my screen. Sometimes, like if two people send at the exact same time, yours might appear before you on your end, but not on my end. So just throwing that out there. So for the Christian Braun, it's not a quintuple badge. It is a quadruple badge. With what pick in the 2022 NBA draft did the Nuggets select, Brown rather, not Christian Braun? With what pick? Let's see. D-Jack, I'm sure, is going to get one of these just because he seems to get answers to all of them.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, I try to be like, it might be something you randomly know, or it might be something you can easily find on Wikipedia. Although you guys are taking too long. See, D-Jack wins. Yeah, there we go. D-Jack gets the first one. Yeah, 21st pick in the NBA draft. D-Jack, I know we've already spoken. I've already sent you way too many gifted moments from trivia, but congrats, you're gonna get another one there. All right, here's more of a fun one. So this is next one is going to be for the Anthony Edwards Spotlight series, which is actually an epic. It's actually a what was I going to say? It's a two-parter. It's categorized as block, but I'm pretty sure it's a block and a three-pointer. And I love it when you get like double the amount for that. So for the Anthony Edwards, during the first round series loss to the Nuggets, in how many of the 5 games did Edwards hit 30 points? So in how many in the 5 games did Anthony Edwards hit? He graduated from being, play-in champion. But yeah, how many of those 5 games did he hit 30?
I like that one. It's like, you have a good chance of guessing it, and then...
Because it's not like super. There's only you have to know it's like probably not 5, and you have to know it's definitely not 0.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not terrible, but I'm surprised no one's just throwing it out there. How many games did Edwards reach 30 points? Waiting for people. Although we can just come back to this one if no one has the answer. I'm still waiting. No, not one. Not one, D-Jack. Not one. I'm going to pull up the exact numbers, just so. If you're watching this, how many of the 5 games did Edwards reach 30 points? I'm going to have to... 7? And how many? No,
nice.
No, in non-civic case. Come on, there's no. I'll put it to you this way: there's no. You're not going to get disqualified by. Okay, there we go. There we go. Anarian got it at 3. I think it was sandwiched. It was games. Or it was right in the middle. Games 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, let me flash this on here. Games 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, game 2 he had 41, then 36, then 34. By the way, if you are a winner, and I'll reiterate this, just reach out to me in the Flowty Discord or reach out to me on Twitter at We Go Live in 5. But you got that moment, the Anthony Edwards moment. Okay. Moving on, actually, maybe let's just get into some NBA talk. Just regular NBA talk.
I got a couple of questions for you.
Oh, yeah.
Quick. Yeah, while we're on the Top Shot, like, what do you feel like are the biggest things that they could do to like move the needle?
So it was definitely very clear. The scoring for leaderboards was definitely, an issue. Mm-hmm. I think that needs to be resolved. I'm definitely on the side of, if you were like an early collector, like a lot of you spent thousands of dollars on something completely unproven. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, it was like 50-50. Is it either going to stay around or is it just going to crash in a few weeks? Mm-hmm. So I don't really mind, a lot of score going into some early collectors with some of the Series 1 moments. One thing I would like to see, though, because I do still like the leaderboards concept, is a guaranteed threshold of some sort. Like I know for the LeBron, they only wanted to mint it out of 23, so it made it a little more difficult. But I think one problem is you don't know, not necessarily if you're going to win, but you don't even know if you're going to make, a certain threshold. So if there was some type of guarantee, I don't know, tiers or whatever, that you could reach, almost like a game show where, you can save at $10,000. Mm-hmm. So even if you lose the next question, you still get dropped. You still get to keep 10,000. So that's one thing I would like. Nice. I would like to see for the leaderboards. In terms of like product itself, I thought the moment selection was fantastic this year. Mm-hmm. My absolute favorite was the addition of draft footage to Rookie Revelation. Oh, yeah, that's I'm an even bigger college basketball fan than I am an NBA fan. So like I'm in love with the set. I'm going to be stuck at like 15 out of 20 moments for a while, but I will, push on and eventually get the whole set. So yeah, in terms of like product, I think they're pulling a lot of the right moves. We'll see how this hustle and show drop goes to, close things out, because it is a common, we've been swept up in the hype of, you had Rookie Revelation, you had Redemption's playoff moments, and now you have NBA Finals Legendary. We had the block, all of that. So hustle and show, we're going back to just a common pack. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
But I think a common thing is just increased communication and transparency. I know that's sort of like a broken record, but yeah, but yeah, that's what I think. I think maybe just making more clearly defining items when it comes to leaderboards. I'd like to see the badges be on chain. Right now, badges are not on chain. So, for marketplaces and companies like Flowty, we want to build tools and customize things for our users. But we can only go so far. Like, you can filter and by a million different things, but because the badges aren't on chain, you can't do that everywhere. So that's one thing. Yeah, that's one other thing to come to mind. Yeah. Nice. And by the way, if you have other questions, I'm all here for it. So in terms of just like the NBA season, any major surprises or disappointments? Like what did you think heading into this season? Outside of the obvious, I think we all know that the Bucks losing in the first round is contrary, whatever Giannis says, it is a disappointment. That is a failure of a season. But yeah, any like surprises, disappointments compared to, maybe what you thought coming into it?
Yeah, I think this year it was kind of a changing of the guards where you saw a lot of these guys that have been dominating the NBA playoffs like every year, like the Warriors, like LeBron, in particular. I mean, those guys have won like most of the championships in recent memory. I mean, there was a Bucks that got one recently, but like the Nuggets winning kind of like cemented this as like a trend that like we're going to see some new teams kind of
the Kings making it as a the 3 seed.
The Cavs were another team that it seemed like going into the season wouldn't be that good, that were really good. And OKC, like they could be a powerhouse because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander be like an amazing season, and they have like all the draft capital. But it's going to be crazy, man. Like,
people. I mean, I've seen the Thunder on a lot of people's way too early power rankings. Like they have the Thunder top 5, and I'm like, I can't really, you can't really argue that much with it. Yeah, I mean, they don't even have, they finally get to see Chet, put the jersey on next year also.
Yeah, I think like what we're seeing is like from the odds world is like there's some years where it's like you had the Warriors like more than 50% to win the championship, and now it's like a field that's wide open. So
it is, yeah,
it's pretty much anyone's guess who's gonna be the winning team next year, which is exciting.
What is NBA odds 20? I'm curious. What I haven't really taken a close look. I assume that Nuggets are opening for 2024. This all a lot of this makes sense. So right now Nuggets plus 500. Well, this is from BetMGM. They have Celtics at plus 550. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that could happen with the Celtics, but then Bucks, Suns, Mavs, Warriors, Lakers share the same odds. Clippers, Sixers, and Grizzlies, Heat. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11 teams at plus 200 or better odds. Celtics third time's the charm. So if the third time's the charm for the Celtics, what do I got to do with my Sixers? Like, oh my god. And that was a rhetorical question, but if you have any insight on what the Sixers should do, then by all means.
Oh man, I think they're a good enough team to do it. Like, but like the fit between Harden and Embiid is it's a little off because it's like both of them really need to be on ball. I think to fit their strengths the best. So it'll be interesting to see.
I just don't. I mean, you say on ball. I just don't think like an on ball scoring first center as your clear number one option. I don't know if you can win that way in today's NBA. Like I know we can point to Jokic, but obviously there was a lot more to it. Or a lot more to his game. I don't know. I'm personally not an Embiid believer in terms of he'll win a championship, but it is what it is. I just don't want them to see. I don't want them to do something stupid and trade Maxey as part of a deal for Lillard or Bradley Beal or something. Like we have enough. Harden is that's enough aging superstars. Yeah, for me for right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. One question I definitely did want to get to on the show sheet. Just because, like I said, I am a huge rookie collector on Top Shot. Do you have any second-year players to watch next year outside of Banchero and Williams? I would say maybe outside of those two.
Yeah, so I got 4 names written down. One of them is not a second-year player, but
okay.
So the first one I wrote down was Nikola Jovic. Like he barely played this year for the Heat. Because like he's like a young big and like he just like he's kind of a liability on defense a little bit, I'm guessing. So I think that sometimes it takes like a little bit of time for these guys to
adjust.
Yeah, he just turned 20, and his stats actually. Let's see, he shoots threes. He didn't make them very much, but like that, the ceiling's good. So I think
the ceiling's good. Yeah.
he's a guy to buy low on. One guy I wrote down was AJ Griffin for the Hawks.
I'm with you 1,000% with him. I love AJ Griffin.
Yeah. So what I'm seeing, like I do mostly stats. I'm like he's shooting well and like he plays defense. So it's like he's going to be able to get on the court, which is kind of a prerequisite to like having value on Top Shot, right?
Right.
So,
well, I mean, one thing I like about him also is I'm not saying Trae Young is a star. He's not a superstar. DeJounte Murray is not really a star, but he has star upside.
Mm-hmm.
Like Griffin was fine playing alongside of them. Like he didn't look out of place all too often. I would say he's a pretty clutch player. I think actually 2 of his Top Shot moments are game winners.
Nice.
So I'm with you on him.
Yeah, he fits on pretty much any team. Like, he's got to do a little bit of everything.
D-Jack's pointing out Shaden Sharp. I can't argue with you there, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is a homer pick a little bit, but Jalen Duren for the Pistons.
Oh, is it Durant? I kept saying
Duren,
Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
My bad. Yeah, so he's just like his stats look really, really solid. I think like his ceiling might be a little capped because he doesn't shoot threes, but
okay.
Like I think he's going to be a pretty solid player. And then
and even in terms of like 3-pointers, especially going back to Jovic, you said he shot them a lot, but he didn't shoot them well.
Yeah.
I feel like threes and defense are probably the 2 toughest things to adjust to going to NBA. Like look, Keegan Murray, I think shot 30% from like we're talking about a guy with major upside shooting from perimeter. First couple months he shot like 25 or 30%, I think, from 3, and then really picked it up. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, my last guy. This is his going into his 4th year, I think. But Peyton Pritchard.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, it's just like the fit is terrible on the Celtics.
I know.
Yeah, he just like can't really. There's no reason to put him out there because he's like a reasonably high usage player that's not like super efficient, and that just doesn't fit with like Brown and Tatum.
Yeah.
So I think
is Pritchard up for a contract?
It's last year of the contract, but he keeps pushing for a trade. So that's really the upside is like he gets a new situation where he can kind of be more of the guy on the team. So I think that like these are all guys that like you can get pretty cheap right now that could kind of next year have a much better season. Interesting.
I'm gonna keep my eye out then for Pritchard. I mean he had a little momentum maybe 2 years ago or something, but yeah, he really doesn't seem to fit.
Who are your picks for rookies right now?
So I would definitely put AJ Griffin in there. The other 2nd-year player, and I'm only going to bring him up just because I had a back and forth on Twitter, but Jeremy Sochan on the Spurs. I mean, he's going to play point guard next year next to Wemby. He's not like a super. Yeah, I don't know if he has like superstar or even all-star upside. But talk about being in a great position. If you're a 2nd-year guy who's shooting excellently, playing against Wemby or playing alongside him and being coached by Popovich, like the situation can't really get much better. Another guy, and this is me being a Big Ten homer, but you'll probably enjoy this, is Jaden Ivey.
Nice.
he's just freakishly athletic. Did he break the rookie assists records? I
heard about some record, but I don't remember quite what it
was. I'll have to look that up. And then more of, I guess, a big picture is I guess alongside Peyton Pritchard, although actually I think he's a year older, Josh Giddey. But that's just more in junction with the Thunder progressing as a team, not necessarily, not Josh Giddey's going to take step towards, all-star voting, although, certainly possible. But yeah, I would say those are the guys off the top of my head. I think any other young guys outside of the usual. I think one player that I'll also mention is, because I think this is a make or miss year for him. Like this year will determine his future, is Denny Avdia. Another young guy. So this will be his fourth season coming in. I think this is a year where he either sort of has to prove he belongs in the NBA, or he's just going to be a bench player for the rest of his career. So yeah,
that one's tough. Like, I mean, he seemed to have a much better year last year.
Yeah, and I know he felt more comfortable and confident in it. And I'm rooting for him. I don't know randomly why, even though I'm a Philly guy, I always like the Wizards.
Nice.
But yeah, randomly. Do you have any, before we move on to some NFL stuff, any wild draft guesses? I've been trying to keep up with it.
Man.
Everyone's like, oh, we would like to move up in the draft. Cool. Everyone would like to move up in the draft.
Honestly, I don't follow college really enough to have much of an opinion here, but
okay,
it does seem like everyone's focused on number one, but there could be some sneaky players.
I'm trying to think. Well, the big NBA draft, the big debate right now is who's going 2 after Wemby, and it's generally either Scoot Henderson or it's Brandon Miller. I'm gonna look at what are the top 5: San Antonio, Charlotte, Portland, Houston, Detroit. So yeah, Charlotte will be interesting there at 2. Speaking of which, actually, we do have a Charlotte moment to give away. So let's do that. Let's do that real quick. The future of the center position in Charlotte, Mark Williams. And this is a fun question. So it's an easy one, but you probably didn't know part of the question, part of the information in the question. So for the Mark Williams triple badge, where did both he and his older sister Elizabeth Williams play college basketball? Shouldn't be too good. Yeah, Narian Mark is good. Yep. Yes, he is. But where did he go to college? Where did his sister play college basketball? This isn't too hard. Come on, people. Let's see.
Elizabeth Williams, she plays for the Sky. This was last night.
Yes, yes, she does. And they both went to Duke. There you go. You get nice. And Arian, you're good with the Mark Williams moment there. Yeah, they both went to Duke. I love. I just like random info like that. Nice. Erica Agumbawale in the NBA. Brother of Dare in the NFL.
Yeah. Part of Diamond and Delano DeShields.
Yep. Diamond and Delano DeShields. My obscure one is part of the reason I root for the Kings. Kevin Huerter's younger sister is a Rutgers women's basketball player. So nice. I love just random familial connections to sports. Yeah. That's fun. That's fun. All right. NBA done. Let's move on a little bit to NFL all day. I got to ask, since all day was sort of the second thing, to come around, the Top Shot hype and buzz had subsided at the time. Everyone knew about all day versus, hey, if you heard about Top Shot in November or December, you were in, you were good. So yeah, how much of a collection do you have for all day?
Oh man, I want to get more into it, but okay. My biggest experience with NFL all day was I bought all these Tom Brady, what I thought was going to be his last touchdown.
Oh no!
And that's what I'm like. Maybe I'm not very good at this. But I just bought this Matthew Stafford game winner versus the Browns from his rookie season because that was kind of a career highlight that I really liked.
I think there are a lot of, I think there are a lot fewer like great moments on all day. I don't really, I mean, yeah, I don't really have much in terms of that. My biggest qualms with NFL all day is, and you've heard me, if you're watching this and have watched other shows, you've heard me say this before, the shape. I don't know why, and like the pack shape even is asymmetrical. It bothers me. It doesn't make any sense. I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is supposed to be? What is this shape? What's supposed to be in this pack here? The differentiation between commons, rares, and legendaries is very minuscule. Like, cool, legendary maybe has an extra thin bar that's gold, but there's not enough. Like when you buy a legendary on Top Shot, you're like, the artwork is on display and it's banging. I have the hologram, the lines on all sides of the extra box. Like, you know, it is a legendary. NFL all day doesn't get me like that. And also, I don't know, it's tough to get excited about like a first down. Like, all right, that's cool.
I mean, there's not very many plays in the NFL, so there just aren't going to be like that many like amazing highlights.
Yeah,
play like 4 or 5 weeks. So then, it's not a time to like make a whole collection of 500 moments around, I think. So, but I think like from what I understand about NFL collecting, it's just like there's a lot of value in quarterbacks, and then the other positions like not a ton. So but I think it's interesting. One of the things you mentioned is something I've always wondered about, like the sports collectibles market. It's like I kind of wish there was more of a like narrative behind like whether something common, rare, or legendary. Like for instance, like common could be like one play, rare could be like a series of plays in a row, and then legendary is like a really awesome game or something like.
And almost like it's a good thing Top Shot made video game numbers. I think they're all reels. It's not just the moment, but the quality and I guess length of it. Because if we're having a digital collectible, that's honestly part of the reason I don't go too much after Series 1 and Top Shot, because the plays are very, very short. Whereas, I mean, you look at Rookie Revelation, I think it's almost like 30 seconds long or something. But yeah, I hope eventually there's like a general agreement in terms of not of what to expect if it's a common, what to expect if it's if it's like Pat Mahomes, his legendary could have been the entire Super Bowl comeback. And as an Eagles fan, I'm fighting back tears.
That'd be crazy.
It's okay. Hurts will get his.
So, the one thing you mentioned, like, kind of like one of the things that's mystifying about this like market to me is the like quality of the play. It doesn't seem to like factor in a ton into like the price. I agree. I'm 1,000% with you. Among the Sixers community, the not the complaint, but everyone was happy that they made the Embiid video game moment. They made that real versus Jokic, whereas Embiid's legendary, his Top Shot 50, was just a real. I forget who it was against. I forget who it was against. But yeah, I'm hoping that like moments themselves have. This is interesting. Wait, Matt, what are you saying? S1, had COVID, the election, first digital. So I agree, Matt, with this. Like the historical significance, like I will not debate that at all. Whether it translates though to the market is a different story. Yes, the refs, reporters, and masks. I love the digital fans. Like that's definitely one of my favorite. And so, I can't argue that will always be one of the kind. We're not going to have another bubble. But whether or not it translates to the market, remains to be seen. Whether it will truly pull away from the rest. That's all. One of the moments that's maybe my favorite on the platform. It's really fallen off a cliff, and how much it goes for is that Vince Carter 3-pointer, because I just remember that night, man. It was like a really sad night, like where they announced the NBA wasn't gonna like have any more games because of COVID-19, and like that was all wrapped into like Vince Carter's last game, because it was like, oh, it was just the last shot of his career, but it's like, when will we even be seeing like the NBA again? So like that moment, like I feel like if it had the announcing on it, it'd be a totally different game. But like I feel like the historical significance of that moment like outweighs the price by a lot.
That's a big miss from Top Shot. Also, is what you just said with audio.
Yeah,
it's needed. Like it is so sorely needed, especially for something like the block. It is very needed. And yeah, Matt, you're right. Providence always does seem to translate in the end. I just think this is we're still talking about a rather unknown market. This weird hybrid market of collectors, DFS players, bettors, flippers, art collectors. So I agree with you. I think it will translate and it will pull away. Various S1 moments will pull away. It just might take a little extra time, but I'm with you.
The funny thing you said, like you didn't mention like NBA fans, right? Where it's like it's like all these groups, but the guys that are no, I agree. So what I'm coming at is like it hasn't they haven't found a way to like bring in like the NBA audience. It's like all these other groups.
I know, and that's sort of the crux of all the criticisms. Like that's the common theme among so many criticisms is like, cool, this can be the future of collecting, but the future of fandom, like that part is still remains to be seen. So much so that we now have another meme coin on Flow regarding free hot dogs at NBA games. So and that's as much as I'll get into it with that.
I don't even know what that is.
No, that's good. That's good. I don't know. Go down the Twitter rabbit hole. All right, so let's move on. Talk a little bit more NFL, and then I just sort of want to get your thoughts on any other projects or any other sports projects on Web3 that you're sort of a fan of, or maybe participate in. So, I imagine you're always bombarded with questions from the Stokastic community. Is there any like common burning questions? Is there any common burning questions that you get regarding like rumors? Yeah, DJack, SMH, that's a good way to put it. Any common questions you get about off-season rumors so far?
Yeah, I guess like the kind of group that's really going to be thinking through this is the best ball community, because like you're drafting now and kind of wondering like what's going to happen in the next few months. So I haven't been playing a ton, but usually what I've found is that people overvalue players on like the teams that have rushing quarterbacks. Like all the players kind of don't produce as much, like because it's like on the Eagles, it's like Jalen Hurts is scoring all those touchdowns running it in himself, right?
And we still have the tush push now. You can't stop the tush push.
That's a good point. So I think like this is kind of how I approach season long, is like one team that I might target is Houston. Like they're probably going to be terrible, but CJ Stroud, like it's kind of a question mark, and then he doesn't really run, so like it could be more of a passing offense. So like I think people might be sleeping on the fantasy potential there. So I'm like maybe like Dameon Pierce is a really good pick this year, and then I honestly don't even remember who's on the team, but like at receiver, there's probably some sneaky values. I think Cooks got traded, right?
I think I lost you for a second. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
I'll put these back on. Can you hear me?
Yep. best quarterback this season like that.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Cool. Okay. So I had it's my fault. I forgot to set everything on do not disturb. So I had a phone call come in and it disrupted, my connection there. We do. All right. Couple questions maybe in here from our esteemed knows everything on Flowman. Trevor, who do you think the best QB and why? Oh, I didn't. Yeah, so I didn't. I should have read that comment first before taking it seriously. And why is it off?
I mean, the Lions are going to be legit this year. They're favored to win the NFC.
To win the NFC?
Sorry, no, the division. The
okay,
NFC
gotcha.
North, right?
Okay.
Or is it Central? Anyway.
Yeah. I hear you on that. I'm just gonna wait. DJ, are you a Cowboys fan? I didn't know if he was a Cowboys fan. He's asking, will Dak have a comeback? I guess I don't know. Maybe general Dallas Cowboys thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, he was like the best quarterback in fantasy for the first few weeks. So I think it was like 3 years ago. So it's like definitely potential. They got really good players at receiver. Like the running back situation is like they got Tony Pollard, but he's not really a volume kind of guy. So I could see them passing a lot. I like Dak this year.
Right. Okay. All right. I assume this means sleeper. Any sleeper?
All right. So my sleeper is the Texans players. So Nico Collins would be a good one. One fade that I have is on Atlanta. It seems like everyone is drafting. They're drafting their new running back, Bijan Robinson, super high. And I just don't think with Desmond Ridder at quarterback, he's gonna be in the that situation. So that'd be a fade for me.
I remember. I think my good friend Wes Huber in one of his draft write-ups a couple years ago, where he didn't necessarily blast Ridder, but he just didn't quite see it.
He rushes a good amount. So I'm and with Mariota at quarterback, they were a run first offense.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So it's I feel like they're going to continue running a ton, and I guess that's not bad for Bijan Robinson, but I just don't know if there's that upside for a ton of PPR points.
Right, and it's funny now that everything has come full circle, and Mariota is on the Eagles, which is where Chip Kelly originally wanted him to be, wanted to draft him. All right, couple guesses. Or actually, real quick, I'm still trying to catch up on the Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen stuff. Is there a TLDR on that? I don't know. Apparently, there was a weird relationship there.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. It's hard to really know on a lot of teams because they try to keep stuff not public, but it seems like a thing where if they're playing well this year, that it'll
go. It
out.
It does seem like one of those things where winning will cure it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple other things. I don't really buy Saquon's comments about I'll sit out if I need to be, but I want to be a New York Giant for life. I don't see him sitting out. Do you think there's any legitimate or serious threat of that happening?
Oh man, with Le'Veon Bell, that was pretty tilting.
There's a caution, there is a cautionary tale and a track record for that blowing up in players' faces.
Right, definitely. Yeah. He did get the bag, but my feeling about this is Saquon Barkley. He's a good player, but I don't know if he's that huge difference maker for a team. Just because the running back position isn't that. It's pretty fungible, who they could put in there, and then also it's some of his best seasons were a long time ago. So He has one good season recently, so it's like, is he really gonna command like that huge salary?
And you look at, I mean, it seems like the Chiefs and the Eagles are starting the trend of we don't really care who we have at running back. I mean, you go back to, the Eagles' first Super Bowl win, Ajayi, Blunt, and Clemens. Then the Chiefs' first Super Bowl win, wasn't Damian Williams the MVP of that? I think there. And then this past year, Chiefs had Pacheco in the 7th round, and the Eagles barely even played Miles Sanders, and still was on the verge of winning. So it feels like those two teams are setting this trend of like, get yourself 2 or 3 of various levels of reliability, and that's how you put it together.
Totally. Yeah, Pacheco is a good example where it's like he didn't even play most of the year.
That's the only reason I was happy, since I'm a Rutgers guy. He was the only reason I'm happy that they won. He literally had his own parade down in Vineland, New Jersey. Great. He's a great guy. He's a great kid.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Any contenders or pretenders for like a deep playoff run? Like, do you have any teams who you think, everyone else sees as at least going to the conference championship or something, but you think is just going to fall short?
Oh man.
It's okay to say Eagles also if you want. I know Super Bowl hangover is a thing.
Okay. No, I think the Eagles are one of the best teams for sure. Like, they just are unstoppable running the ball.
Yep.
Which is like a recipe for winning. And Jalen Hurts actually was pretty good throwing too.
He really was. Like, I browse Twitter and like wait to jump down someone's throat. Actually, here are his passing stats. Trevor says Lions to the playoffs this season. That will happen, right?
I guess maybe my pretender, like, this is going to be a little bit of a hot take because the Bengals have definitely had a ton of success recently. Yeah. But I feel like maybe have been overperforming compared to what they should be. So that'd be a team where I could see them regressing.
Fair enough. No, I think that's reasonable. What about on the other side? Maybe someone a playoff contender who could make a deep playoff run. I mean, I guess that could be the Lions and maybe the Dolphins. It was pretty wild that Tyreek Hill literally said, "Yeah, I didn't really know the playbook at all last year," and he still put up those numbers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Dolphins, they had the best offense in the league to start the season, basically. So that's an easy pick. To hopefully being healthy this year, they could definitely excel.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, let's do some NFL all day giveaways, and then to close things out, we can just briefly run through a few projects, sports projects in Web3, and like I said, get your thoughts on any other projects you're a part of. But we'll flash this one more time. So let's give away the Miles Sanders. It's a rookie mint, not rookie debut, and Justin Fields. So starting out, oh no, all right, so slight hiccup for the Miles Sanders. You're going to be getting a Devonta Smith trivia question because I just had a total brain fart. So, but that happens. That happens sometimes. So, trivia question: With which team did the Eagles trade to move up in the 2021 draft in order to select Devonta Smith? Do you know this off the top of your head?
I have no clue.
Oh, okay. I just enjoy because of who the answer it is. It makes it extra. It makes it extra great.
Nice.
Who did the Eagles trade up with in the draft? Dallas. Sam Johnson. Welcome to the show. I think you've been here for a while, but welcome to the show. And yeah, so Dallas. That was the reason so many Giants fans were pissed because they were like, "Wow, Dallas and Philly literally just pulled off the trade so Philly could take the receiver that we were going to take." Nicely done, Sam. Again, hit me up on Twitter at WeGoLiveIn5 or just in the Flowty Discord. This question should be slightly easier. For the Justin Fields moment, Fields came close to Lamar Jackson's single-season QB rushing record, but he did set what record last year?
Oh, I know this one.
Okay. He did set a certain record last year. And I'm trying to think. He was single-season QB rushing. I'm trying to think how far behind he was.
He definitely was the record holder for like the most money lost in DFS if he faded him.
He got okay. So he had 1,143 across the season. Jackson had 1,206. So yeah, he was only off by like 60 or so. But what record
did he like sit out the last game?
Yeah. But Jackson only played 15 games when he set the record. Also, yeah. Anyway, what record did he set? I feel like it used powers of deduction. Okay, if you didn't break the single season QB rushing record, I feel like just use powers of deduction to figure out what.
Yeah. It's not like he's setting any passing records.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not setting any passing record. He's not setting any interception record either because he's not throwing the ball enough for that. Is that Jameis Winston's record to hold? I feel like it probably is. But again, Justin Fields set what record last year? Did he? Rookie. Did he set the rookie?
I don't think he was
record?
A rookie last year, was he?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that was Fields' second year last year.
Oh damn! I see he finished 9th in the MVP voting. I didn't know that.
Finished 9th in the MVP voting?
Or maybe it's I guess he only got 1 point, so it's not really that good.
Hey, he still got it.
Yeah.
What record did he set last year? And then Matt's asking if you're buying any all day. All right, I'm gonna offer this up, and this means I get to keep the Justin Fields moment. But a single game rushing by a QB, 178 yards in a single game is an all-time NFL record now by Justin. I actually saw Anarian, you got it, but I think I revealed it first. Yeah, I think I revealed it first. Yeah, sorry, I get to keep it. Or you guys know how this works. It's literally just going to be saved for another show to be given away. Yeah. All right. So let me turn back to that. So let's move on, to close things out. Any other projects you're a part of? When I think of Web3 or sports in Web3, and this is more of like a big picture question of like how we can increase the crossover between digital collecting and not just physical collecting, but like the DFS community, the betting community, the season-long community. We have very good friends at Jolly Jokers and Own the Moment, putting out some awesome tools. So that's one thing that comes to mind. AI Sports, Metaverse Football, MFL, and then Play Swoops, is obviously the newest one. I was actually really taken with Metaverse Football. So, I mean, they're designing like a whole FIFA mini game just with fictional players, but they're like doing it on chain. Yes, exactly. AI Sports. Absolutely. I actually, I hit up CJ to see if the creator of AI Sports, see if he wanted to give away a common, but he didn't get back to me. But yeah, I'm always down to chat AI Sports. So yeah, in terms of your collection, are you part of any other projects, sports related projects on Flow, or even if it's not on Flow?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you mentioned On the Moment. They do really awesome stuff, kind of helping provide tools for this stuff. So, like, I noticed they're like dipping into Rainmakers, which is something that I'm interested in. Like, definitely this NFL season coming up.
Yeah,
it's so rare. I've been doing for basketball in particular.
Okay.
There's I think those are the two big ones I've been doing, but I definitely am intrigued by that one. That it's like it kind of is like fictional games that they're playing, like with these cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually Play MFL. I'm gonna see if I can bring this up and share my screen,
Yeah.
because I was they're great guys over at MFL. I was just
Nice.
talking to them the other day.
That reminds me of like some sites I used to like do back in like the early days of the internet, where you kind of like it was like fantasy, but like not real players. You just kind of like invested points in different like skills, and then you competed with your friends. That was fun.
Right. Do they have? I'm just trying to think. Oh, this is live. So here, so this is Metaverse Football. It's at playmfl.com. They actually have 3 different collections. They have like a player collection you can buy. You could also buy and sell packs. But the real kicker is you can get a club license for sale. So like if someone puts together a club, like you can, instead of buying players to complete your roster. Right now they have a 2D live simulation. I'm gonna try to pull this up here. There we go. Get this out of the way. So yeah, Play MFL is pretty cool. This is all, simulating live. These are all fake players, but you can buy a license, create your own team and your own team name and logo. I'm pretty sure they do have small, prize payouts like Dapper Balance, things like that. So you can have monetary investment in it. But yeah, these guys are really cool. Trying to see and you can get. Let's connect here. A little screen share action never hurt anyone. If you go into Flowty, like I said, you can do club collection, pack collection, or player collection. But yeah, we have there's a bunch actually up for sale here on Flowty. Not so much, I don't think, the club collection. Yeah, it was my understanding is you can have a license in order to sort of build up your team. You need to purchase one of these licenses, but it's almost like when you play FIFA online and you're playing like campaign mode. They're trying to set that up just on chain. The one, I never really got into So Rare. Am I like too late to the party? Is it still worth checking out and jumping in?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fun way to do like NBA and MLB and soccer. Those are the 3 leagues they have right now. Okay. But it's cool because like you can participate pretty casually because you only play twice a week and you only need a few NFTs. So
that's good because I can't handle like a heavy commitment.
Yeah, the thing, it's like almost a gift and a curse because like for someone like me that wants to like be able to like scale up like how much I'm doing, it's like not easy to do, but that just means like it's all single entry, so like it's like these tournaments are pretty easy competition, so it's definitely something that you can kind of game and win at.
I'll probably jump in. Yeah, I'll probably jump in for baseball season.
Nice.
Now that NBA, I'm very sad. I think we have 4.5 months until the NBA season starts up again. Although draft is coming up, so at least there's that.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you dabbled at all in play swoops? I have not. Like I see what they're doing and everything. I just haven't really had time to dig in.
I was looking at it a little bit, and is it based on? Okay, I think this is the one that I was thinking of. Where is this the simulated games too?
Yeah, it's simulated. They have clever puns or clever names for some of their players. Okay. I think, what did I just see? I think some robot player's name was Buddy High Yield or something. Like they take names and they take actual NBA names and they just sort of mash them up. Nice. But yeah, I haven't checked them out yet, so I was just curious. So getting to, I guess, the final question is, if you see further expansion in terms of this crossover between traditional fantasy sports and traditional betting and these contests that we see in Web3.
Yeah, so I think whenever it's comes to like these kind of questions, it's like what is the thing that Web3 offers that
Right.
like you couldn't do before, and
Right.
I feel like people are pretty satisfied with fantasy outside of Web3. So it's like is the value prop of being able to like own your players and continue to use them over a season like enough to get people to really invest in it.
I'm with you. There needs to be one heavy crossover item that no one's thought of it yet. I don't know what it is, but there needs to be like one bridge that doesn't have to do with money, okay?
Right?
Because that was the bridge before. Like the amount of either current or former DFS and fantasy colleagues I had who I were texting with in terms of Top Shot and stuff is down to like 2 people. So there needs to be one bridge. I don't know what it is, but it can't be like monetary, like it can't be incentivized by money. And the most we've seen is a lot of just token gated contests where the NFT is the token itself, which is cool. Like that's sort of one thing, and Aaron, you said AI sports. That's sort of one thing that I like about AI sports is there is the artistic element in that it's an AI generated photo of a sports player, and you use the NFT to enter sort of traditional DFS contests. But as of now, like even a lot of these contests on Web3 are for not pennies, but they're for dollars. We're not talking like where is the Web3 milli maker? That's that's the question. Yeah,
I feel like DraftKings is trying to do it.
That. Yeah,
it's like I'm not sure it's like that much different than just playing DFS.
So,
it's kind of like the chicken and an egg, I guess, where it's like what is like how you want to have the money, but you also want this innovation. And it's like it's hard to do both at once.
No, you're right. It really is. All right. That's gonna. Anything else for me? Because that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for us here. We're at hour 17.
Nice.
I definitely want to give you time to plug Stokastic. If you have what content you're providing now, because this will be on replay and this will be in podcast form also for the feed. So any information you want to throw out for Stokastic, memberships, subscriptions, anything like that, the floor is yours, sir.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you. So, I mean, Stokastic, we have a lot of DFS and sports betting advice. So it's really to help you up your results in those arenas. And like we have 2 new products that I want you guys to all know about where like it's all about helping you kind of like build awesome DFS lineups, but also like do it quick. So like the first is called Lineup Generator, where it's kind of like a streamlined version of an optimizer. And then like you can kind of like build a lot of lineups and pick between your favorites, kind of like Tinder style where you're like swiping.
Interesting.
Then, the other one's like our sim package where like a lot of pros like simulate contests, and it gives you the tools to be able to do that yourself. So it really is an avenue to upping your game.
There we go. And Stokastic, just I put the Twitter handle in there. It's Stokastic_com, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Stokastic.com. I'll put that in the chat also. And then I'll add that to the description for anyone watching on replay. But Alex, seriously, thanks so much, man. This was a lot of fun. I think we did our jobs. Wanted to talk a little bit of regular sports and then work in things like Top Shot and all day. So really appreciate you coming on. Thanks everyone for tuning in, or if you're watching on a replay or if you're listening on the podcast feed. And if you were a winner of one of the moments, just reach out to me. You can DM me on Twitter at We Go Live in 5, all written out, or just hit me up in the Flowty Discord. He is Alex Osimo, which honestly took me way too long to realize the incorrect spelling of Osimo. But I'm sorry, I can't say that without thinking of the Cartman Osimo robot from South Park. It's
a common response.
Is it okay? All right, cool. So I'm not alone. But trying to think. Let's see. Yeah, no, D-Jack, thank you for coming on. Yeah, look for this on replay. Please like and subscribe to Flowty Twitter, and follow us to Flowty Live on YouTube, and then follow us on Twitter at Flowty_IO. Any closing comments, Alex?
No, just thanks for having me on. And I like one thing about like the Web3 compared to like DFS, where it's like we can all win together. So I'm hoping that some of the stuff goes up in value eventually. And,
yeah. We might be holding for a little bit, but yeah.
Oh, we never talked about that lock thing, but
that's right. We never talked about the great unlock.
It's anyone's guess what happens, but
it is anyone's guess. We at Flowty will be here to help with all listings. Put them up for a discount. Get that nice green FMV badge or discount badge. Thanks to Own the Moment. And I personally, yes, moments will be, undercut. I think it's just going to be more of a changing of the guard type thing. Just sort of roll over maybe a new set of bigger holders. Not saying new set of whales or anything, but maybe a new set of bigger holders. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do a great unlocking show here on Flowty Live, something like that. But again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Watch it on replay if you missed any of it, or check it out on the podcast feed. It'll be up there later, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks, Alex.